Hey everybody, been a really busy week. My thumb is mostly better. Today, I am going to break these down further so that they are usable. I think I've got enough pieces to make a full shell, so I don't think I'm going to need to pull any more off the log. I'm going to cut them to size, glue up the shell. That's tonight. Okay, so the first step today is to finish milling the wood, and then I'll cut it to size. But something that I want to take care of is preventing waste. You can see how the hardwood, because of this darker stuff, is I think the technical word is pith. That's the bark. I want to get rid of that and waste as little of the solid wood as possible. So because the problem, of course, is that if I just mill it down to where the bark is all gone, I waste a whole lot of that good wood in there. And I'm already a little bit thin in some of the spots as it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them roughly in half with the table saw, and then I'll shim it up on one side so that I can get rid of as much of the bark as possible and as little of the hardwood as possible. I'm going to be pretty rough and sloppy with this cutting in half. Thickness is where I'm really worried. I'm not worried about length so much. I'm much more worried about thickness. If you have kids, you know that sometimes things go missing. So I'm going to be using my sewing tape measure. That'll be good enough. I thought I would improve my breathing, my dust prevention, by getting a better mask. Then my glasses keep falling off. Maybe up there? Oh, this is a pain. With the old mask, my glasses always fogged up. With this one, they won't stay on. Just realized something. The double section's about 17.5 inches long. Half of 17.5 is, of course, 8 3/4, right? When I looked at the depth that I had to work with, I was thinking, I'll make a 5.5 inch shell. Not happening now. Now it's going to be a 7 inch or 7.5 inch shell. Inevitably. Which means I'm going to have to cut a few more, at least one more segment off of the big tree. Dang it. New package of hot glue sticks, just for the occasion. Okay, so this is what I did. Well, you can see what I did. Well, as is so typically the case when I'm working in the garage, it is raining outside. There's a bit of a thunderstorm going on. Maybe you can see it. There's a mommy bird on her nest right there. Did you get some water? Did you get some rain on you? Where's the bird?
Like up there.
Yeah?
A baby bird's up there.
Wow.
No, no. And me want biscuit.
Don't slip on the floor.
This is not funny.
Are you all wet?
It's me going here.
Oh, that was thunder. All right, so here's the next thing that we're dealing with. These pieces are so thick that even if I get the outside of the right dimensions and I'm able to cut the bevel the way I want to, there won't be enough room on the inside of the drum for me to move my sled and still have the bit reach all the way to the bottom to carve out the inside of the drum shell. So I need to get these down to a manageable thickness. I've got a good flat edge on the outside, so I'm going to clean up and square up. Better this time than last time. I'm going to run it through the bandsaw or the table saw like this and like this to try and get each piece down to no more than 1.25 inches thick. From there, it shouldn't matter how wide my staves are, even if they're 3 inches wide, I'll have enough material to work with to get it down to a 1/2 inch shell and then 1/4 inch inside the built-in, well, that thing I did with the leopard wood drums. My job right now, though, is to find my narrowest piece, because the narrowest piece is going to be the narrowest the staves can be, or the widest the staves can be. So I'm going to do that now, then I'll figure out how many staves I actually need, and if I need to cut another chunk off the log. I think I'm going to have to. Alright, so I'm inside for a few minutes. Need to be near the kids. I've taken a look at the measurements, and I am definitely going to need to cut some more sections off of the big log. 2, in fact, if I can get, because I can get 2 staves off of each slice off the big log. So if you're interested at all in making drums, stave shell drums, and you're worried about calculating the staves and angles accurately, you gotta go here. uniontownlabs.org/tools/stave. Whoever put this together is brilliant. It's just fantastic. So I'm gonna have I need 3-inch staves. My narrowest piece of wood is about 3 inches and 1/4, and after I account for doing the angles, I really need it to be, that's essentially 3, because I'm going to lose wood each time if I'm going to have accurate bevels, which means I need 15 staves. I've got 10 right now, so I need to cut 3 more sections off. Yeah, 3 more sections off the big log. Hey, so it's the next day. It's raining again, go figure. I've got all the pieces to thickness. I need to cut them to width. Actually, I'm not going to bother cutting them to width separately. I'm going to cut them to width the same time I'm cutting the bevel. I got 15 pieces, 15 staves, so that means 12-degree bevel there, 12-degree bevel there. Will be 3 inches wide. I've got 3.5 here. This is 3.5. All of them are right around 3 1/4 or wider. So the first one we're going to cut on one side, then the other side, and then it'll be exactly 3 inches on the wide part, and whatever it is on the inside, it doesn't matter. Then we'll glue up. So here we go. So I got a couple pieces that are militating against a deeper drum shell. Let me show you. So this one, apparently because of when I was violently breaking the big log apart, left some gaps there. It's kind of a problem. This one, a similar problem. You can see that goes up. That's not going to be great for the glue joint. So really this piece can only go about that long. This one I thought was going to be my one piece that I would get rid of. That's from the table saw, so you can see the curve of the blade. Only cut it that deep on that side, that deep on the other side. Again, when I was breaking down the log. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. because I just don't have the energy to pare down the last chunk of that log, especially because it's got some gigantic knots in it. I've got some cherry. This is cherry from my parents' farm. This is the same cherry that caused the problem with the hoops that warped. However, these are pretty thin pieces. They've been sitting for a long time. They're dry now. I'm sure they're dry now because they were pretty close to dry before, but that was 8 months ago. So what if I give this drum racing stripes? So imagine 2 staves separated like that. Well, maybe just 1 because it's an odd number of staves in this drum. I think that'll work. Let's do some cutting and see.